What's up, everybody? We're live. That's some creepy shit to start the show off with. God damn. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to BGST. Next Gen sounds like he got a pair of balls in his mouth, so I'm going to do the intro for us. Hopefully, you guys are all doing great. We got a lot of topics to talk about tonight. We've got the usual cast of characters, including Tim Dog, fresh off his purple belt victory, back again, back-to-back weeks. So, yeah, we have to do our claps like that because they took away our ability to do that in the actual hangout, which kind of sucks. But, yeah, good job, Tim.
Nice.
Yeah. Hell yeah, and we got K-Mega and XBOX and Next Gen and Tim Dog. What's up, everybody? How you guys
What's going on, people?
It's your boy, Next Gen.
4K.
What's up, everybody, man? K-Mega4-5 in the house, man. Excited, man. Just enjoying gaming right now.
He rubbing that the rabbit's feet and eating the 4-leaf clovers and all that stuff because of the stream earlier today, man.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, there's a Mortal Kombat tournament hosted by Danny Boy, aka Yoshida, and he and it's been pretty wild. Like me and Mooch and K Mega and Z and everybody, Bam Bam, everybody playing this thing, and it was funny because XBOX got his ass whooped by
What
K
are
Mega.
you talking about, man? Mega had to pull his character out of his ass real quick and come through with teleports and shit.
Man, hey man, his alien was no joke, man. He had me down 3-1, and I was like, okay, I had some kind of strategy, and then when he busted through my Shinnok like it wasn't shit, I was like, oh shit, I gotta fuck the strategy. I just gotta bring my boy. So and that's when the party got started, man.
Yo, check this out.
Was banging out, man.
K Mega, he was that cyborg dude, right? That Triborg, whatever. Yo, he took the head off of himself, threw it at my dude, right? Knocked my head off. Like all of a sudden, his head took control of my body, and then my body put up his hand for victory. Like, yo, it was fucked up, man.
That's funny as hell, dude. That is great though. You know what? You know what's really cool is like it's been really great to see everybody kind of stream and do this stuff. Like I saw Next Gen playing Gears of War 4 online, like the multiplayer. Yeah, like
games explodes.
That is great though. You know what? You know what's really cool is like it's been really. Hey, what the hell is that?
What the hell is going on?
That was me.
Oh, okay. All right. But yeah. So Next Gen was playing. He's been playing some Gears. What's your thoughts on Gears Online, Next Gen? Because I know that's not really your thing. But
I was saving Gears for the Scorpio, and please excuse my way that's they got a tooth pulled. I was saving Gears for the Scorpio. Mooch got me to play it last night. I whooped his ass in Mortal Kombat, and I sucked donkey dick for about 5 hours. I stayed online with Gear because I don't like to lose. About 7 in the morning. I'm getting better. It's a learning process, but give me about a week, I'm gonna be a professional. Let's go.
Hey, you gotta play a real game like Halo 5, man. That's all I gotta say.
Well, no, you know what? It's baby steps for him to even play Gears, man. Because I said all along, I said Gears is no joke. A lot of people give up on Gears because they get their ass kicked the next gen.
I
so
get
you
my
see what I'm
ass
talking
kicked,
about.
man. I go back to the Halo universe. Fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? Props to him for sticking it out because he was playing it again today, and I hopped on, but they had a full party, so I was just playing by myself. But yeah, like that game is so intense.
I went 10-7 my last match. 10-7.
Yeah, like there you go, man. You stick with that shit, and then eventually you get the hang of it, and you know it's cool. They mess with the playlist a little bit too much, though. You know, it's like
what you mean? Of course, what?
There used to, like, right from the beginning, there was like a casual, you could just pick team deathmatch where you could just play unranked team deathmatch. Now they took that away. There's the casual mode where it plays multiple different things, which I don't like that because I pretty much only play TDM, you know, or you have to play core, which is ranked, which again, like I was doing that, man. I got my ass kicked the first match, but then once I got it back down again, I was doing pretty good. But without a team, and you don't really stand much of a chance at actually winning.
You know what I've learned? The Lancer is for far distance. The shotgun is for up close and personal.
Yeah, you gotta eventually you pick it up, man. Like I'll fuck people up with that Lancer because people don't expect it.
I was a chainsaw master. I would just run up. Now it takes a little bit more skill to do that. You can't just run up. You know what I mean? You gotta really be up on them. So
I look at it as a good strategy now because I was the lumberjack on that last match that we were playing, because when they wanted to pull out the shotgun, I just pulled out the Lancer and it started. I got achievements and shit because I'll cut like 6-7 people. It was really, really cool because I'm not good with that shotgun. I got to get better with that shotgun.
I learned you can't aim it up close. You got to shoot from the hip.
Yeah,
I learned that.
You don't aim that shit. Yeah, you gotta. It's all hip, and it depends on what update they have. But sometimes you gotta aim a little to the left, a little to the right. The best way to figure that out, like in a private match beforehand, because they're always constantly tweaking it. So the best thing to do is to kind of just like go in there with a friend or something and just figure out which one. Because sometimes it's like, oh, that we patched it, and then it's like you got to aim a little bit more to the left.
Let me ask you a question, Crap. You know, is the gear scene dead? Is it still thriving? Like, what's going on?
Well, the gear scene on Xbox One is good, but but it's only the super hardcore that really play that. Like on the PC, obviously, it's pretty much dead. But on the Xbox One, I think it's pretty good. I think that there's some things that they probably did that turned off some people, but at the end of the day, are you going to split up the fan base and charge people for map packs, which they put the maps out for free for everybody, or are you going to do the microtransactions? Like, I don't care about the microtransactions; they're optional.
So the maps are free. Yeah,
the maps are free. Everybody can play them.
Oh, I gotta download them.
Yeah, but well, you don't even need to download them. They're just in the. If you see, they kind of messed up in this way too. If you have the season pass, you can play the map packs on private lobbies. If you don't, you can only play them in the public. You see what I'm saying? Yes. So that is kind of weird. But as far as the microtransactions, like a lot of people don't like how many they have because it seems like everything's like pack based or whatever. But for me, I haven't really spent much on the packs. Just a little bit here or there. I just mostly just earn them. But for some people, they don't really like it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think everybody, especially like first party when it comes to Xbox, everybody needs to take a look at Halo 5 and how they've done microtransactions with that, because I haven't spent a dime and I have absolutely everything in that game. I have every armor piece, all that shit. And I think they just have to model it after that. I think that's the best microtransaction model that they got out there. Yeah.
Hey, Xbox, let me ask you something. Because I had somebody coming at me on Twitter saying they were like supposedly a big Halo fan, but they said Halo 5 shipped as only half a game and it's taking them this long. So I was thinking, like, are you serious? Like, I get it. Like, the campaign wasn't the best. They oversold the cheap versus lock thing. But as far as the multiplayer, I thought it had a lot of good things going for the multiplayer. And then they continually added and updated to it, which is what you do when you're a good game. Yeah, and you want to keep the community together. I think it's the best multiplayer to date. But it was one of those people that thinks that since they added sprint, it's shit now. You know what I mean? Like, man, one of those
Halo 3 over and over and over again.
Yeah. It's like for me, I try to tell people Halo came out in what, 2001. You got to evolve a little bit. When I went back and played Halo 3 campaign, even just not the ability that you don't have not to sprint. It's kind of lame.
It feels awkward, man. It feels slow.
It feels so dated. So it's like you got to be able to, and people that complain about that, I just don't get it. But because I know you're a big Xbox, you're a big fucking Halo fan, so I figured I'd ask you what your thoughts are on that.
Well, see, here's the deal, man. When it comes to Halo, the Halo community is so big. When you get a huge group of people, of course you're gonna get a toxic side to that, and the toxic side is what I call purists, man. They just want Halo 3 over and over again. They want the little glitches that they always take advantage of in multiplayer. All that shit, and there's a pretty big, number of those people out there. All right, they don't want change, they don't want evolution, and the thing is, when it comes to this franchise, like you said, Crap, man, it's been around for so long, it has to evolve somehow. There was a lot of points in time where you're like, if you're this super soldier, why are you just like this big clunky guy? Why can't you run? Why can't you take advantage of technology in your suit and shit like that? And that's what they did with Halo 5. And the multiplayer, man, 60 frames per second doesn't fucking drop, And it's
you know what I like too? They do that ground pound thing, which is a good thing. I like what they've done with the mechanics. Like you can pull yourself up now, which that seems like, why would fucking Call of Duty do that before Halo? Like it only makes sense to me. Like so I don't know. I think that Halo the multiplayer stuff is great. And by the way, Halo CE now in the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame, check that out.
I mean, that is pretty fucking cool in my opinion.
But here's a question: does Sony have a game? And not to start no fan, but do they have a game in Hall of Fame?
I don't think so. you know, I mean,
Just
I'm not.
start.
I'm,
Like
yeah,
it's just-
I mean, I'm sure that they might eventually get something in there, but these are like the stuff that's in there right now is like
Mario,
I think like
Zelda, something like
Yo,
that.
guys,
Yeah.
guys, let me put this in proper perspective for you, because Halo CE got into the Video Game Hall of Fame at the same point in time. Donkey Kong just got into the Video Game Hall of Fame. So you see, like, that is a selective group, and for them to take that long to put Donkey Kong in there, and you see Halo Combat Evolve got in there in like a fraction of the time, like that.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing.
yeah, I think it's absolutely phenomenal. Fucking props to them, Bungie and Microsoft for believing in that franchise. Obviously, still the face of Xbox, despite Zaire claiming it was Gears.
Oh, this is saying. I'm just reading this off the internet, but this is it's from Wikipedia. But it's saying this is what the games that are up for finalists for. Well, this is 2016. Grand Theft Auto 3, Elite, Final Fantasy, John Madden Football, Sid Meier's Civilization, Street Fighter 2, The World War Warrior, and Tomb Raider. So it's pretty elite company. Like these games, some of these games were 1975, Nora Bringer. So
well, Street Fighter 2. I mean, that was like, man,
That's
back when I was.
If that's not in there, if that didn't make it, holy shit, yo! You know
that
what
has
I'm
Grand Theft Auto 3 too. This is. I'll put the link up on my page. But,
yeah, you have to really think about as well. Halo is basically the baby out of all of those games.
Yeah,
2001.
Yeah, so
dude, and it's
That's
already
that's
in there.
that's
yo.
incredible.
I guess as far as Halo, it put the genre of shooters on consoles. You usually think of shooters as more like PC based. You know, Halo, it kind of, brought the whole you had Doom and you had other little stuff on console, Double I. Halo took it to the next level, and I'm not even a big Halo fan.
Here's that page.
It's just so funny hearing Zaire talk.
Yeah, sounds crazy, right?
Oh yeah, this is pretty impressive what they're up right now. These are the inducted games right now. I'm going to give them to you: Donkey Kong, Doom, Grand Theft Auto 3, Halo Combat Evolved just inducted, The Legend of Zelda, Oregon Trail, Pac-Man, Pokemon Red and Green, Pong, The Sims, Sonic the Hedgehog, Space Invaders, Street Fighter 2, it made it, Super Mario Brothers, Tetris, and World of Warcraft. So that is some elite company.
Yeah, it is.
Oh hell yeah!
And stuff like Final Fantasy, it's listing that from 1987, by the way. Grand Theft Auto 3 is one of the newer ones at 2001, same as Halo. Tomb Raider, 1996. Nuremberger Ring, 1975. John Madden Football, 88. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, dude.
No, I'm sending the next one. These are the actual inductees. Final Fantasy didn't make it. A lot of those games didn't make it. They were finalists.
Oh, they didn't make it.
Click on the thing that I just hit.
Yeah, we talked about that on
see.
on the GRG podcast Friday, and we named
Shout
that
out GRG podcast. Go subscribe.
No doubt, yeah, shameless. Yeah.
You moved that to
Friday
your
Friday night.
Right?
Oh yeah. Don't you have an announcement to make, Crap, first?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I can on Mooch's behalf. He's bringing back the Crossfire podcast. It'll be starting back up this Friday. It's going to be a little bit shorter, and it's going to lead into the streaming thing that we were doing on Friday. But we're going to end it at 9 right before GRG starts. So there was no conflict. But I think Mooch went out and asked K-Meg and stuff beforehand and let him know what was going on. So he didn't want to just go, hey, man, I'm going to start fucking doing the podcast. But Mooch just really wanted to kind of, he's getting back into the full swing of things like rightly he should. And he's going to be around a lot for E3, even on BGST and stuff. So, he's getting more into the streaming and stuff. It's like once you start doing this stuff and you're having fun with it, like I knew that would kind of be the case. And so it's playing out. So it'll start back up Crossfire this Friday on Mooch's channel. If you guys want to check that out, it's I think it starts at 7 or 7:30 and it's going to be done by 9 in time for GRG.
I mean, and we always run on K-Mega time anyway on GRG. So we always run around close to 9 anyway. So it's perfect for everybody. And then if you a Mooch or anybody that gets into that mode to where y'all just want to keep talking, just hop onto the show. I mean, what I'm saying.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah, like the main thing we wanted to do was not step on anybody's toes, you know, because there's a lot of good stuff like the quest and stuff like that. But you know, he was doing that like the Fridays before, and then you know, just he was only getting MNC mornings every other week, so he was only getting 2 pieces of content on his channel a month, and you know, it was like that's not a good way to keep your channel kind of, I guess, growing and doing things. So doing the Crossfire once a week as well is gonna do a lot of things for him, and people were asking for it, you know, because it was such a different kind of podcast where you would have people that maybe don't always agree on stuff, so
man,
yeah,
that's where I started, man. That's where like I got kind of put on the map when it comes to podcasts and stuff like that, man. And I gotta say, yo, big shout out to Mooch for bringing that back. Mooch, man, I am forever in your debt for you taking a chance on me out of nowhere. Yo, great job, man. I'm psyched. I can't wait for this to start
it's
up.
cool, man. I'm glad that everybody's like, you know, because I know Next Gen, he does a lot of shit. He even got like, what, Broadband Bullies? Is that your new one, dude?
Yeah, and
Is that your
Granny's
Beam
like
exclusive one?
Yeah, I did it on Beam.
Yeah, and even Z was showing respect to GRG. He says, "Look, I'm going to move it for you, Mega, and your crew." You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just that's how you do things. And it was just like when I wanted to do GRG on Fridays, I came to Crap first because at that time Mooch stepped away, and I'm like, "Look, you guys are the king of Friday night, so you know what I'm saying. I would just think it would only be right to ask you first."
I was on the first show.
Yeah, you was the first, first guy. So I mean, you know, that's. It was the same respect when Mooch asked me, and you know what I'm saying, and it's all love, man.
Yeah, man.
Yo, Mega,
we're excited. We really are.
Yo, Mega, let's just be honest, man. Everybody is kind of like asking and moving around and stuff like that because we don't want Lady Infamous and Delilah coming after us.
No, hell no. Hell no, because I'll be the
Lady,
first. They'll chop my head off first, and then they'll go.
Hey, Lady Infamous beat Mr. 100 6-0 on Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I was like,
yes, she whooped his ass.
And L Boogie beat Mel in a really close tournament. I asked Mel.
The same tournament that win?
Yeah. And I asked Mel, I was like, who won? And she goes, well, we're all winners. I was like, oh, I know what that means.
Yeah,
yo, L Boogie and O Snaps, yo, it went down to the last round, man. That was insane.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was an absolute good one. You know what, though, guys? I want to talk about something that is getting a big push that a lot of people are talking about right now, which is the Fable stuff, right? Because I was looking into this, like I remember, I think last week, and I was like researching it, and this article popped up, like pretty much just as I was talking about it. Where this Gobo, you know, this Gobo place, they're a developer, and they did like the Disney Infinity stuff. They did some add-ons to that, and like this F1 racing game. They partner with Microsoft, and so they made the announcement. Hey, we're excited that we partner with Microsoft Game Studios. We can't wait to share what we're doing with you guys in the future, blah, blah, blah. So I did a video on it, and I was pretty excited about it. And I looked into it. I was like, well, they do open world stuff. Wouldn't that be interesting if maybe they're handling at least part of a new Fable game, maybe some kind of like multiplayer aspect or something like that. So then I seen this article, and Tim, you saw it too, where they actually hired some ex-Lionhead devs. And one of the games they're working on is an Unreal Engine 4 game, open world RPG. So they're also working on another game, a free-to-play game that looks like it's going to be maybe possibly mobile for Ubisoft. You know, so they're actually working on 2 things, one for Microsoft, one for Ubisoft. It looks like it could be Halo. I mean, it could be Fable. And then if you look at what Phil Spencer said on Twitter the other day, he said when somebody asked him if the game would make a comeback, he didn't say no. Usually he'll go, we're not working on it right now, but we could in the future. He didn't say that. He said
nothing to announce, right?
Nothing to announce. And he thought that there was a lot of places that it could go. Right, and Phil is a straight shooter, and Tim, you'll probably know this as well. If you bring up baseball, he'll go, "We'd love to partner with somebody on a second-party game or third-party," or you know, he'll flat out say, "There's no Mech Assault game now, but we'd love to revisit that in the future." Like he doesn't bullshit. You know, the fact that he came out and said, "Hey, nothing to announce right now, but there's lots of places it could go," and I've been saying this for the past 6 months. I'd heard that we'd get at least some kind of teaser for it this E3. It's looking like
awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like, what's your guys' thoughts on the Fable coming back?
Well, crap. I just want to say that you have absolutely no credibility, man. And it's funny. It's funny how you've been talking about this for a while, and before the articles came out, and people were saying, "Man, you don't know anything, right?" And then all of a sudden, these articles come out. Where are these people now to say, you know what, crap? We were fucking wrong, man. And
it's all right, man. You know, like I'm right. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes you hear things, you pass things around. It's just it's one of those things, you know.
Blame crap for that Joe Montana football. What I mean, blame crap.
Hey, don't blame me, man. Hey, me and Next Gen were misled a little bit by who was that Hip Hop Gamer?
Oh shit!
We both look like
crap. You know what, yo? One day we need to go and just go through all our old videos of some of the shit we used to say and make it collage, bro. I swear that shit is
DX12, man. That shit 120 frames per second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Make it more powerful than the PS4. We was out there on that ledge, man. I'm trying to tell you.
It was funny. Hey, it's funny though. I mean, you know, things evolve, and we admitted, hey, that was bad. We got fooled on that Joe Montana stuff. That man tweeted out that he was at Redmond. Mm-hmm. What were we supposed to think?
The actual developer. I should have sued him for slander for destroying my channel, my reputation. I should have sued him.
Dude, we were like, Joe Montana's like, Redmond's great. I love it over here. And we're like, oh my God, it's Joe Montana football. It's happening.
You took that out bad.
Yeah, well, that was so bad, man. We got they like kicked us. They were like, hey, take that shit.
Yeah, I know Morris, like 2 years later, he was even saying, it's just like, Tim, just like Joe Montana, right? That's
hey, man, they gotta let that shit go, man.
On this whole Fable thing, though, like when everything happened with Lionhead. When Lionhead was getting shopped around, and people were looking to purchase that development studio, and they're like, "Well, give us give us that franchise name in Fable." And Microsoft and Xbox were like, "Yo, fuck you, hell no, we ain't doing that." I mean, people tried to say that Fable was dead because Lionhead no longer exists. Well, obviously, Microsoft, Xbox, they have plans for it. And I believe you, crap. I think we're gonna see at least a teaser at E3, and man, that's gonna be great. It's a foundation.
That'll win people over. Like, that's one of those games where you could get away with showing it off maybe a little bit early. I know some people are like, well, no, it doesn't make sense. It's too early. And I posted this the other day because people were like, I don't believe you, crap. Like, it's probably not going to happen. So I went back and posted stuff. There was interviews with people that worked at Lionhead. The contingency plan for Fable Legends was if it ever got canceled or didn't work, they didn't think the studio would get shut down, but they thought they already have all the assets. They would turn it into a proper Fable 4 and just use those assets that are in place, and they could have a game out very quickly that way. So they have the game that was already almost built, $75 million invested into it. So why not have that turned into a game? Like, it makes sense. They declined the offers, multiple offers for the franchise, for the IP. They said no.
That was IP.
Well, for Phil to answer, when Phil usually says nothing to announce, that means something's going to be announced, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not like total confirmation, but being that he said that, definitely adds a little sprinkle to the hype or whatever. Or, personally, it's possible. I think that you look at that developer that's working on it. I think it's Gobo Studios.
Yeah, Gobo. Yep.
If they're going to take it on, it's probably going to be 2 years away, and they're probably going to. I think they're going to use the assets that Fable Legends was using somehow.
Legend 4, I believe.
But are they going to? They might add. That might be the multiplayer aspect. They might add a single player.
Yeah, I don't think that they would do the single player. I think the single player has been in works, from what I understand, internally, because Microsoft still does employ several Lionhead people, and they have Microsoft Game Studios, which is like, a lot of people don't realize that encompasses a lot of people. It's not necessarily like a studio like how Sony has a bunch of different studios, but Microsoft Game Studios is a group of people that work on various different things. So they could have been working on that, and maybe Gobo, because how Phil is, maybe they wanted to rework the online portion of Legends and put that into Fable 4.
Right. It's very possible. Yeah. And the thing is that they need games, they need franchises, and this one makes a lot of sense. You see a lot of people ask for Fable. A lot.
So how about this? How about remaster? I'm sorry.
How about remastering what?
Well, there is the Fable 2 and 3 are backwards compatible. Fable Anniversary still isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but how about giving like a collection like they did with Halo, the Master Chief Collection?
Hey, that would be cool.
It's
I mean,
not
I
a bad
would.
idea, but I want a Redline series.
Oh yeah, a new one. But I'm saying with next generation graphics, dolled up, new achievements.
Yeah.
To get the newer audience or new fans into the series.
I mean, you know what? That'd be good because think about this: the last true Fable game was 2010, so 7 years ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and you might be a year, even 2 years away from another one. So I agree. Why not remaster those games and put them out as a collection and let people buy them? Like that makes sense. New achievements, because that's why I probably wouldn't go back and play through the ones that I already have because I have all the achievements I can get on Fable Anniversary, Fable 2, and Fable 3. So yeah, I agree. They should. That way they can gauge some interest. And the funny thing is, even though people think Fable was kind of a failure or whatever, Fable 3 in particular was one of those games where everybody on my friends list at that time was playing that game. And that only happened rarely, like when a new Halo came out or a new Call of Duty. And so I think that Fable 3 was quite successful. It just took a couple steps back, and then obviously you had like Peter Molyneux like over embellishing a lot of things.
Yeah. He was one of those guys that was, I think, a thorn in Microsoft's side. And I think that Microsoft was absolutely happy that they actually kind of disband Lionhead, and they still have some of those developers. I think, matter of fact, that some of those developers over there with that new studio.
The lady Lauren, she was the redhead that debuted Fable Legends at E3 a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
She was the Lionhead Studios social manager. Now she's the whole Xbox social manager or whatever on Twitter. So they've got her. A couple other people are working for Rare, which Rare supposedly is working on two things. They're one of the only ones that are working on two things. So who knows what they're working on? I mean, I would assume if they were going to do another Fable game, whether it be a reboot of 4, you have to have some of that British type humor and stuff. So they would be a prime candidate to have something kind of in the side there working on that. I could see that. And Phil knows that when people buy an Xbox, they want Gears, Halo, Fable, Forza. And they want other stuff too, to be sure. But those are the 4. I mean, isn't that what we buy these consoles for? Like, I buy an Xbox for those 4 games. I buy a PlayStation for shit like Uncharted, God of War, Grant. Well, it used to be like SOCOM and
shit. Used to be for Gran Turismo, but
yeah,
no.
About that.
What? I'll ask you a question. Do you think that with Crackdown, do you think that could be a new staple? I think from Microsoft.
Wow.
You know what? Crackdown. I've heard good. I've heard multiple things about Crackdown recently. One of the things which I did a video about, which was even though Microsoft keeps saying they're not going to treat Scorpio as like a new console launch and they're not going to like have quote unquote launch games for it, I'd heard that Crackdown 3 and Forza are releasing day and date with Scorpio, which is going to be in October around the Redstone update. Which, if you guys don't know, the Redstone update, that's where like everything kind of merges. All of Microsoft stuff merges, and that makes the most sense because Microsoft wants to get Scorpio out before
November.
Before all the big major games hit. So you don't want to be stuck in a situation where you're just releasing a console with nothing to show off. Crackdown 3 and Forza are going to be showpieces for this thing. And I think that at E3, what they're going to do is we might either get, there's a reason why I've heard a couple different things. The beta for Crackdown 3 is going to be something we're going to be able to play right at around E3. And also the backwards compatibility. Those two games, Crackdown 1 and 2, might go free during E3 that people can download it. Because what they gave us Tekken last year, and then the year before we got the beta for Gears.
Did you
Gears
say
Ultimate.
Tekken?
Oh no!
Yeah, they gave us Tekken Cross, whatever it was last E3.
No, you
right?
just said Tekken. You moved up to the echelon of one of my favorite people because you said the mighty Tekken.
Oh, okay. Well, no, they gave it to us, right? I think that was what they gave us last year. Like,
well,
and I downloaded
it. Yeah, that was huge for me. Like
Yeah.
I'm saying, fuck motherfucking Kojima. Harada is standing on the Xbox stage. That's my dude right there. I'm like, let's
Well,
go.
you guys seen that kick-ass looking what the hell was it? The Injustice or what was it? That collector's edition, $200 bucks. But
no,
geez.
that's Capcom.
Capcom Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Yeah, that or Ultimate or whatever the hell it is.
Well, no, Tekken got their they got a kick ass because I bought it already. It's already purchased. Man, I've doubled up and it might triple up because I already got it for the Xbox. I got the statues. Everybody going to see it. I'm going to show it. It looks so beautiful with Kazuya and Hayachi. And then I'm going to buy it for the PlayStation because I got to whoop some ass in there as well and rep Xbox. And then I might even buy it on the PC as well because it's all about that Tekken life for me. So anyway, I'll refrain because that's my world right there.
Yeah. So I mean, like there's lots of stuff going on with this. Obviously, the holding back of Crackdown 1 and 2 have to do with either something we're getting for E3 or maybe some kind of thing where you pre-order it Crackdown 3 and you get both of them or whatever. So there's stuff like that in the works. Supposedly this stuff, and Tim, you might have heard this too, Crackdown 3 is melting faces, which is the quote that I was told.
That's the one thing. I was just gonna say this right fast. I think it's really smart for Microsoft not to talk about Crackdown and let people build and let it build up the suspense, because normally when we see a lot of gameplay of certain games, we get that feeling of like, okay, we've seen that already. We've been there, done that. And so by the time that people start playing the game, they'll start nitpicking at the things that they don't like. I think it's really smart because I think at the end of E3, Crackdown is going to be the drop the mic moment.
Yeah, dude, I think they don't have to talk about Crackdown. We do it enough, man. Trust me.
Well, people don't give it respect. To me, it's a game that deserves a lot of respect. And Tim, what have you heard? Because I know you maybe have heard something.
I've heard a lot of stuff, believe it or not. There was a lot of stuff behind the scenes, as far as not a lot, but there was some talk that the counterpart for Xbox One, Scorpio, would only be exclusive on Crackdown 3 on that because Xbox One couldn't handle it. I also heard that it wasn't doing real. There was like people saying right around the time when Scalebound was delayed, there was a lot of these rumor guys that like to cause, like these rumors was saying that the game was really in development. So I had put up a tweet about it, and then somebody hit me up, somebody who not with Microsoft, but as a developer, and he said he saw Crackdown 3, and he said that the physics of the he says it's destruction like you've never seen before. It's a sight to behold. He says
I heard melting
really
faces.
Impressed.
So yeah, like I was, and there's multiple teams working on that, including the one that did, I believe, the first one on Xbox 360.
I think the melting face game, to be honest, is going to be Forza. Just because, but this game's going to look good. But this game, in my opinion, is going to change the way. I think hopefully change the way you look at games. I mean, you could be literally on top of a twin tower skyscraper, and you could have 4 dudes shooting the bottom of it, shooting gas pipes, and you can jump around to another one, and they could hit it with a rocket launcher, and the whole thing can fall down. Or you could actually fight on a world where the whole place is rubble.
Yeah, and the stuff all stays on the ground. It doesn't on the ground. Yeah.
So you can use it. You can pick it up and throw it at people and swing it and stuff like that.
That's something that we've never seen before. So I think more of that is where you're going to be really impressed. But yeah, I mean, people who say we don't have games and stuff like that, they're stupid because you're going to have this. You're going to have a lot of games coming out.
Well, you're damned if you do. You're damned if you don't. If you're Microsoft, you come out with Halo and Gears. They're like, all you do is have Halo and Gears. You don't, and they're like, you don't even got Halo and Gears. It's like, man, what the hell? Like seriously, like the stuff gets so old. I did a good, at least I think it was a good video yesterday about a developer who had mentioned that it's all about the games and the power of Scorpio doesn't really matter. And I'm like, if it really were all about the games, then people would have been jumping on the Xbox One tip right from the beginning, because I had like this list of games, big, small, AAA, AA, indies. Like they had such a selection in that first year. Like no matter what you liked, they had it. And nobody gave them props. They talked about the
resolutions of the game more than they did the game. That's the truth. Exactly. In 2013, 2014, with Sunset, they talked about the resolution. I mean, if Tomb Raider was 900p, which it didn't, they actually got 1080p, they would have fucking destroyed that game, made fun of it. So, and they weren't talking about anything other than that. They weren't talking about a single player open world and how much cool that is. They
Hey,
weren't talking
isn't it funny
about
that
other
remember
shit, you know,
Digital
like-
Foundry fucking was running tests on Sunset Overdrive at E3, right?
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, "Oh my god, it's only 900p. It's 30 frames per
Yeah.
second. Haha, they can only do that. If that was on PS4, it'd totally be 60 frames, 1080, guys.
Yeah,
Come on."
How
Like,
many
get the fuck
games
outta
actually
here.
were 60 frames per second on the PlayStation 4?
No, I don't think any of the exclusive
Yeah.
except for like the last gen stuff.
Not even their
Except for-
indies.
Yeah, it was like,
That's what I'm
hey,
saying,
how,
like-
just like Tekken. Hey, how about-
pure death, man.
How
Yeah.
about
Remember
Tekken,
that
man? Tekken,
asshole?
that's only 900p on the 900p
Oh,
box.
shit.
Yeah, but see, that's, I wonder what they
Oh,
were saying
that is
about
weird.
Xbox
How that you see how the resolution's not being like.
I shoved
totally
it up their
cropped up?
asses. I I did.
But did
I
you
was
notice that? Like, I think that there really is a lack of focus now. People are trying to move away from resolution. It's funny. It's just that whole thing. With these games being 1080p and 900p on Xbox, that should hurt Xbox. Man.
Yeah, and you know what's funny, Tim, right? Like, so I did and a lot of people don't understand how I do videos sometimes, right? So I did a video like, oh my god, it's only 900p on the PS4. It's the 900p box. Like, people don't get it. Like, they take that seriously. Like, I care, but it's not that I care. It's the funny fact that I'm doing a title and a video about that on PS4 when that's all we had going on about Xbox for the first years. Like, they don't understand that it's me being fucking completely facetious and fucking making fun of that. You know what I mean? They're like, but it still probably be less than 900p on Xbox. You X fag, X this, X that. You know what I mean? And it's like, are you serious? Like, come on. I don't really care about resolution, but I'm just letting you know that I'm making this funny title and bringing it up because that's all you people talked about for years.
Yeah.
For years.
Crap,
You know,
I think that's one of the best things about your channel, man. Like when the narrative gets spun around or when the goalposts like get moved, you're like right there on top of it, and you hit them right back with the same thing that
man.
And they have no answer.
And then all of a sudden they get all in their feelings, man, and they get all pissed off. Like it is one of the
These dudes
funniest
work on names. Yeah, like I'm over here clowning saying our usual PlayStation brethren up in here, and they calling people X-Rats. That's the funniest X-Rats. Like,
So,
I mean, like I said, they work. Yeah, they work more on making names and accusations than they play games. I mean, that has to be what's going on. Like, I mean, you know what? This one guy, it was the funniest shit. Like I said, man, where's your gameplay? This dude showed me everything else but gameplay. I said, look, you talking all this shit about I'm a fraud, but where's your gameplay? So then he showed me like his setup. He had like some PlayStation pictures in his he had PlayStation controllers in a little case. It looked pretty good and everything. Then he showed me his TV. And his set. Yeah, it was in a glass shard. I'm like, why would you put them cheap ass PlayStation 2 controllers in a goddamn piece of glass? But I'm like, that's cool, bro. That's on you. But anyway, he showed me his TV and his PlayStation sitting up there and everything. But again, and then he showed his list of games, and then he showed like all these shelves, and I guess he thought that I couldn't see that those pictures were mostly DVD movies. Wasn't even 4K Blu-ray movies at that. So it was very shameful. And so I said, bro, you got more movies than you got games. What's the problem here? I said, did you buy digitally? Where's your gameplay? And he still didn't show no gameplay. He just called me everything in the book and called me a fraud. But that shit was funny.
The next ride.
Yeah. So I mean, you know what? All you got to do if somebody want to call you an X-Rat, tell them to show your motherfucking gameplay. That's what they need to do.
I agree.
Yo, Tim, I just wanted to touch on something because you talked about the whole face melting title and stuff like that, and you said that it's probably going to be Forza Motorsport. I gotta agree. So. Graphically, Forza is going to look absolutely amazing, but I think this year is a really good year for a Crackdown title, and for a Crackdown title that does something that no other game out there does with that destruction and everything like that. To just have a game to go in and have fun and destroy everything.
We got no games, man. Just face it.
Like I think
this because we got no games.
Well, here's the thing with that, right? Like, I guess because
do we live in a moment or what? How stupid are people?
Well, Tim, here's a funny thing, right? Like, they go, well, you don't have any games or whatever. because on the PlayStation side, they're used to just having these single player games where you play it and then like 2 weeks later you're done. With us, we get a lot of multiplayer stuff. Like you can go back and find matches on Forza or Killer Instinct or Gears 4. We're playing Gears. I was playing Gears 4 tonight. Like
Forza Horizon 3.
Yeah, like these games have multiplayer, right? Multiplayer. Because it's not like
single player games matter. That's the only thing.
When it matters most. Play on Xbox Live. I'm just saying.
I'm going to threaten people's lives because multiplayer doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter, man.
Hey, Tim, did you guys see this new this Xbox Live commercial from Microsoft?
No.
When it matters most, play on Xbox Live. They killed it. It was amazing. You guys got to watch it. Go to the Xbox channel. They got the song. They got a couple pro soccer players and the music in the background, which I thought was super clever, is "Ecstasy of Gold" from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It takes a person who would know that song, but
find this. You gotta find this.
Yeah, it's like and it was great, man. It's like when it matters most, play it on Xbox Live. It's reliable. It says that they've got the greatest community, which is 100% true. You know what I mean?
Well, we do play a lot of games. I mean, these games like even on Friday night, I always call. I get my usual suspects. South, Rand, or whatever, and we'll play with people even from Xbox. We'll just all play. We'll just play like 4-player game. Like we were playing Gears Horde mode. And, you just go on that title. It's not one and done. You go back to it, and we're all hanging. And Gears Horde mode is pretty good. But, that is true. And there is value in that. And Xbox is definitely the place to be for that.
Yeah, I mean, look, when Sea of Thieves, when like Sea of Thieves hits or Crackdown, those are going to be heavy multiplayer games. Like people aren't just going to play those for a week and stop playing. People are still playing Halo 5 like crazy, and they keep adding to it. So it's like, I think there's a bit of that disconnect because like the average PlayStation gamer probably is one that likes a lot of single player stuff. They play it like nobody's talking about Horizon Zero Dawn anymore. Nobody cares.
Well,
right? Crap, that's done. Nobody's even talking about Zelda anymore. Other than like I'd heard from a person who heard it from Phil Spencer that Phil was basically saying that Horizon Zero Dawn and Zelda don't make money for their companies. That they don't. That's not that they aren't making money for them, and it's a business at the end of the day. So as good as people think those games are doing, they go into the NPD and then they drop out the next month. Those aren't sustainable forms of income for these companies. So as much as people like to bag on stuff like GTA or whatever, those are the games that are constantly in the top 10 like year after year. So I mean, you can't really blame Phil, even though he took a lot of shit for what he said about like multiplayer games engaging people longer, which is true. He didn't say anything that wasn't true.
You know what though, Crap? To be honest, what got Phil in trouble was the fact that he said services.
Well, he's right though. They are.
I get it.
Was Zelda fucking game and Horizon that got everyone the Nintendo crew and everyone of the PlayStation all up in arms. If he had just used 2 different games, multiplats, it wouldn't have had that fucking reaction.
I say fuck it and use those 2 games. Those are the 2 games that get thrown in everybody's face anyway. But we tackled this on Next this past Saturday, and I put out, if you guys saw, Overwatch, right, made over $1 billion in less than a year. Destiny, even though it's criticized, is hugely popular, and people are still playing it. People are still buying it. What do those games have in common? They are service games. They are games with multiplayer. It is what is going on today. It doesn't mean that a single player can't be popular, but it is what it is.
It'll also be created too. It's just that probably with Xbox you'll have a multiplayer add-on. It's going to be a bigger thing, and will that detract them from making less single player games? That's the question. It might. I mean, if you like single player games and that's your place, I think that Sony is definitely a console you should look at. But with Xbox, you're getting single player games, maybe not as much as Sony has because of with the Japanese games, but you're getting a lot of other things like you're getting all the online games, all the you're even getting a game like Cloud Compute with Crackdown, with using state-of-the-art technology. You're getting Roblox. I just found out that game's not on PlayStation 4. It's just what it is, but people are making a way big deal out of it.
Yo, Tim, not for anything, but the PlayStation dudes in the chat, man. I don't know. I just turned them up or something, just hitting them with straight facts about Overwatch. They're like, fuck Overwatch and shit like that. There's over 30 million people playing that game like right now.
Do they really?
Right.
Like, honestly, let's be honest here. Do people think that Overwatch is not making a ton of money? Like, is that do people want to compare Horizon to
It's just
Overwatch?
facts, guys.
You know,
Yo,
it's nothing personal.
No, it's
No.
not. But this is the fact, and this is what's absolutely scary for people that are fans of Call of Duty. You know how Activision is all about money, and now it's been reported as well that Overwatch is overtaking Call of Duty.
Wow.
And that's insane. So therefore, you can look that the premier game for Activision will be Overwatch over COD. So, you know, and both are, you know, online games. So therefore, that it just proves the point of what Phil was saying, but people took it and twisted to make it seem like that, you know, well Phil is not going to get any games, any single player games. But this is the thing that I commend Phil on this, and I think that this is the perfect strategy, is that I'd rather have less single player games, but I can get the best of the single player. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Microsoft can live off of the multiplayer aspect. I mean, look, let's just be honest. I mean, Sony, they have to support the single player because their service is not that trustworthy. That's just a fact. So Microsoft can have the best of both worlds. They can have the best single player games. And if somebody wants to talk about yummyyummy.com game that's coming out here, nobody's not going to give a fuck about. That's fine if Xbox doesn't have it, because of the fact that, you know, it's not that great of a game, and the people that wants to talk about it are a niche group. So go ahead and support the multiplayer aspect of it, have the best single player experience for the gamers, and everything will be fine, man. I mean, because that's where gaming is going anyway.
Yo, check this out. Yo, crap. Remember when you said how the goalpost was going to be moved? People were talking about power and resolution. Now they're dissecting Phil's, like, any little tweet or anything like that, and they're trying to find something to throw, because, like, their whole power and everything like that is gone. It's fucking gone. There's no argument anymore as soon as Scorpio drops. So it is absolutely funny to go into social media, Twitter and whatnot, and see these people, like, grasping at straws.
They're nervous.
Yo, and trying to find something to throw in that direction, and they don't really have anything. So they just twist, like, these quotes out.
Yeah. Well,
that's pretty much the truth.
Here's a PlayStation fan in a nutshell, right? It's all about the games. Who cares? But then the next day they're begging for a PS5. I mean, why are you going to beg for a PS5 if it's all about the games? I mean, come on.
Exactly.
Be real.
Wait,
come on.
PS5 is coming out in 2018, man.
Yeah, come on. No, it's all. They asked for that.
My Gazio's nervous about it. You know, he's saying PS5 in 2008, right? 2008.
Yeah, I mean, with Amazio says it, man. But it's all about the games,
man. He's scared.
But it's all about the games, though. Remember, they don't care about the power. It's all about the games.
It was about the power in 2013, 14, 15.
Yes.
Yeah, and then Scorpio trailer dropped, and then, you know, then it was a whole different ballgame. But
yeah, what
is these guys worried about? PlayStation 5, 2018, man.
Yeah.
All your games are gonna run like super sample too, because that'll come right out of the launch, like it did for PlayStation 4 Pro. Oh, that was
that never happened. Yeah,
it doesn't even work a quarter of the time. I don't know.
Hey, but you know, Sony could have done so much better with the Pro if they would have added in more memory, enough memory bandwidth to 100%. Do the 4K textures and stuff. You didn't even need to do
Pro.
Yeah, you didn't need to. Hey, you know, they didn't even need to do like this fake 4K stuff, right? Or you can still do that.
It was a cost-cutting move. That's all it was. They couldn't have 12. Come on, you need 4K texture. They don't know about 4K textures. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean,
they couldn't add 4 and then add a UHD. You're not going to even add a UHD as even the real kicker, you know. But I mean, come on.
Is Tekken going to be 900p on the score? I mean, on the Pro?
No, it's
No.
900p on the base one.
Okay.
They probably did get 1080 on the Pro. Hopefully,
What's it going to be on the Xbox One? 720.
it's probably going to be 800 or 828 or some shit. You know what I mean?
923.
I'm very nervous about PlayStation 5 in 2018. NSCF, you are totally correct.
Wow.
I'm real nervous.
You know what? You know what I'd be nervous about is about gaming. Would be PlayStation would really turn gaming upside down and turn it into the cell phone business that like Z has been talking about, and fuck up the industry forever. Because this is how dumb this strategy is from Sony. Okay, already they're bragging about that they have 60 million consoles out there, retail, out in the wild, whatever. And then you would go ahead and you're so desperate for the power aspect that you'll bring out the PlayStation 5, and it has to use better technology because Sony is not like Microsoft to where they could use those type of components like Microsoft can, because Microsoft is a software company. So that means that they would have to use like Vega and Ryzen and all that other shit, right? So therefore you're going to have a PlayStation that's going to be at that $600 price point, and if they try to cut the price to try to negate against a mid-gen system, then they're going to lose money, and that means there's less games for the PlayStation fan base.
You know what? At the end of the day,
absolutely ridiculous.
Let me say this.
Makes no sense.
At the end of the day, I mean, business-wise, it doesn't make sense because the PS4 is still selling extremely well.
Exactly.
They don't have an incentive to release.
The analyst has to be right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just saying they don't have an incentive to release a PS5 unless the PS4 stops selling. You know what I mean?
Listen,
I hope Sony. Well,
the
I
only
don't
reason
care.
why this is even being pushed is because
Scorpio.
It's because of Scorpio, and because they're not satisfied with the Pro, and that's the truth. That's all this is. If this PlayStation 5 is not coming out in 2018.
Yeah, it makes no sense because look, the Scorpio is going to do well for Microsoft in the States and like the UK, but the PlayStation is still going to be like the de facto console for like the worldwide people, and that's not. And Sony is in the business of making money. You people act like rushing out a PlayStation 5 would mean something. Like it doesn't, because it's all made in the
stuff
software
that Xbox just did. Go look at all the things that they've done where they add all this stuff at system level, and they've done all this. You think that takes a year to fucking do and to plan?
It took him over 3 years. Phil said he started this stuff when he took over. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just release consoles like that, okay?
Yeah,
try to
understand
the industry. I
mean, and it's not about the hardware. The hardware doesn't make
the analyst is clueless. I mean, that guy is clueless.
Yeah. Hey, look, the hardware. Another thing, the hardware doesn't make these people money. It's the software. It's the services. Why would Sony want to start all over when they got 60-some million install base that are willing to buy games? And then you're going to go from 60-some million to none?
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make sense. That makes zero sense. You're just going to end up messing yourself up. And people think that talking about the PS5 is going to hurt the Scorpio. It doesn't. It hurts the PS4 more than anything. Scorpio is 4K already. Like the PS5 would be 4K. What would it do? Real 4K? Guess what? Scorpio already does that shit.
Hell, they don't even want to buy their games. They want to red box them. So what makes you think they're going to buy another fucking system? They're not.
I agree.
If anybody that's invested in the Pro, they're not going to invest into another system. You know what I'm saying? For
not the casual,
large price,
the hardcore, but not the casual.
That's what I'm saying. You got the you paid $400 for the Pro last year. Okay, it hasn't even been a year yet, and then you're talking about the next year. You're going, and then the rumors of another new Pro supposed to be coming in at the end of this year.
You're gonna develop for all the
Pro.
That's the Pro
fucking console.
There's so many fucking things. You're gonna have the PlayStation 5 come out.
Is that a 5-alarm fire going on?
That's you hear that?
Sony fanboys panicking.
Yeah, that's the Sony alarm, man.
Makes too much goddamn sense.
Jesus.
That's over on my side, man. But yeah. It's a fire alarm, man.
It don't make any sense whatsoever, man. Like just, you know what I'm saying? Look, and the most important thing that the PlayStation is using, the PlayStation fan base is using right now is games. That's their narrative right now. If you have another console, that means the games are going to be taken away because they're not going to have the assets to make games plus the PlayStation 5. You know what I'm saying? It's just not feasible. You know what I'm saying? The PlayStation 4 is doing really well right now. They need to focus on this new narrative and keep bringing the games. That's exactly what PlayStation needs to do.
Yeah, I mean, look, they just now got games for the fucking thing, and they want to come out with the next one so they can have a 3-year drought again. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this real quick. You know, Remedy Entertainment.
Oh, yes.
They did Alan Wake. They did Quantum Break. Both really good games. I like them both. Now they're doing this third-party game, and the thing is, they teamed up with 505 Publishing for an incredibly low amount of money.
Yes.
$8 million. That is fucking peanuts. That is nothing. Why in the world, like, I mean, this might say it all, but why in the world wouldn't Microsoft or Sony step up and pay that to have an exclusive? Like, I don't, it blows my mind. $8 million.
You know what, crap? I don't, maybe it may have not have been Microsoft or Sony. Maybe it might have been Remedy wanting their games on all platforms to make as much money as they could.
I get that, but they probably would have made more money if they would have just signed the deal. Like, they probably could have made much more. This doesn't seem like, because they're also giving up a ton of the profits. If you guys looked at the deal they signed, it's like they're making they're whatever they make, a lot of it would go right to 505.
That's such a shitty publisher too. 505.
It is, and they're a terrible publisher. Like, you don't sign with 505 that'd be like if Naughty Dog were a third party and they were like, well, yeah, now we're going to be publishing our game with 505. Like, you would just want, like, to me, what a fall from grace. Like, what is the deal?
I don't know. That shit is kind of, you know what? You know, maybe this film they do take long, 4 or 5 years to make a game.
Yeah, I know Phil's a stickler for that shit. Like, look, Quantum Break wasn't made under Phil's thing. Phil doesn't like Alan Wake even. So
well, you look at all the games. See, I actually had a conversation with Phil about single player, and I told him I really feel that the Xbox games that came out that were single player, even Tomb Raider, all had something that was negative and pushed against them, and it wasn't, at the right time in a lot of cases. And I think that that's a part of it. Timing is a part of it. Reception is a part of it. I play a game like Mass Effect, and I'm like, this game is really not as hated as it feels like it should. And then I play another game that's loved, and it's like, this game is on the same level as Mass Effect, but it's getting different acclaim. So, it's like things like that. I think with Xbox One, it was a big stigma. The Power was a big hit on the console, and that's all people talked about, and that shit goes like wildfire. When people hear 900p, they say, "Oh, it sucks. My 1080p doesn't fit my screen." Whatever. It's just like the thing when they call the thing a VCR. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, maybe they didn't notice how ugly the Pro is.
I think he shouldn't give up on single player. I don't think he is, but I do think that single players might come out differently than they do.
They should all have some kind of multiplayer.
With the games of service, like debut, like,
or
hey, month on month, this game's going to come out, and then they're going to curate it that way. And they're also going to help the developer with a lot of the multiplayer aspects. That's what I see happening. I see some indie deals, and I do see single player games, and even bigger deals. But I think that the games for the service tells you, the Game Pass just tells you they're not leaving making the games consoles. Just, I think that they might make games a little differently when it comes to single player only.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is my theory, and I think that Microsoft is kind of looking at, well, not Microsoft so much as just Xbox. They're looking at it as I think that they're tired of dealing with the red tape behind these studios, so I think that they have a different approach, and what I'm saying, in Remedy, they could do what they want to do. I mean, they don't meet deadlines. I mean, of course, you look at Platinum Games and what happened with Scalebound, you look at Lionhead, the list goes on of the problems that Xbox has had with some of these big time studios. And I think that they have a different approach, and I think what they're going to do is do things individually, in house, and only work with the third party, those big studios on the side. I really do think that. I think that the whole problem with all this red tape, what's this, PlayStation 4 is outselling everything right now. We want to cater to them more. All this other bullshit, Japanese games, all of that. Microsoft needs to do things internally, in my opinion, and branch out and start letting their developers have an opportunity to show what they can do.
Well,
yeah, I agree. I don't know. Like for me, I think that Phil is a little bit odd because I'd heard like he prefers single player games, but when you're a boss of something, you're obviously you're trying to make money. And so I would assume that most of the stuff that they do, like Quantum Break, why not do like a horde mode or I don't know, something, Well,
like that developer's gone. I do think they could revisit Sunset because that developer basically said, "Hey, you got to talk to Phil."
Yeah,
I think
Sunset, I had heard Phil had said something particular like he could do a Sunset 2 or a Quantum Break 2 or Rise 2 tomorrow, but it wouldn't really mean much or something along those lines. So,
I want a Sunset 2 though.
Fuck that. I want every fucking game that came out. I want them all. And
well,
you know what I'm saying?
You know what's frustrating, Mega? Is this. I hear people go, wow, I just now got around to playing Rise because it was free or whatever. And they're like, what an amazing game. And I'm sitting there like, I was fucking playing this game first when it came out.
It makes me laugh, though, is it's like you look at a game like The Last of Us, okay, that came out at the end of the cycle of PS3 and 720p. And then it came out for the PlayStation 4, and it was a full charge title at 1080p. Now, with Microsoft, if they try to do that with a 4K game, like had a developer rewrite the game and do 4K and charge for it, people would go crazy. And it's like they wouldn't be allowed to do it. So sometimes when I say Xbox has a higher bar, it really does. Because certain things like cheapo things, they can't get away with. They would have to offer it for free. You know what I mean? Like, or as part of something. They couldn't just say, "Hey, 4K 60 Sunset Overdrive." Let's just say it could do it and run the game, and but you're going to buy it at what did Sony charge for The Last of Us? They charged $50.
Yeah,
50.
Okay. 11 months after it was released, 720. Only difference really resolution, and I think it was 60 frames per second. No, I don't even think it was 60 frames. I don't know. It might have been.
No, it wasn't 60 frames because when they had like it was an option, and they were saying that it was really jerky and it didn't.
Right, it ran at 45. And
yeah, so they had to run it at 30. Yeah.
Let's just say that Xbox attempted that. Mm-hmm. What would the internet's reaction be? Let's all be honest here. Crap. Well, that's the question to you.
Well, Tim, just look at kind of like in social media, like Voodoo Vince came out, right, which was an up-res from the original OG Xbox title, and it was $15. And there was people over there saying, well, why would people want that and stuff? You're looking at The Last of Us, which they remastered up-res, like you said, in such a short time for a new system. And people embrace that, right? But a $15 OG Xbox game, like that looks actually really good on the system now and is really fun to play. And people will talk shit about that. It makes no sense.
It doesn't.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That was exactly what I was going to say. Everybody shitting on I'm saying Phantom Dust.
Yeah, which one I want to talk about, please.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to shit on Phantom Dust, but that game is going to be what, $15.
It could be free.
It could be free. It could be $15.
I think it's going to be like $10 to $15 because of the fact that it's going to have that online component that it didn't have before, and then the achievements and all of that. And it's going to be also on the PC as well. Now I think it's also going to have the pay to play type of stuff, like if you want to buy these type of cards and stuff. But anyway, regardless of this, is that this is a fan service. There's a difference. So like when people see Crash Bandicoot or let's say Papa the Rapper, nobody asks for fucking Papa the Rapper. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and then like I bought Twisted Metal Black on the PlayStation 2. I mean on the PlayStation 4, and it looks worse than it did on the PlayStation 2. The shit looks like piss water, right? So then, you don't hear anybody saying anything about that. These games are not even up-res. You know what I'm saying? They're just charging you $20. You know, say 15 to 20 bucks, unless if you don't have PSN, it's like 20 bones. So when you have a game, when you have Voodoo Vince, everybody want to shit on Voodoo Vince. Voodoo Vince actually looks pretty damn good.
Well, somebody in the chat said
it is, the degree of bullshit that some of these people raise, and they don't let PlayStation get this same, or even Nintendo get this type of, the same type of, they don't come after them the same way like they come after Xbox. It's sad, it's wrong, and it's full of bullshit. That's why we have to address this.
Well, I mean, like for something like that, but the real reason why I brought that up was not really to talk about Sony, but I think that Xbox could do some of those things with some of their games. But I do feel like it's going to be free. But I would actually pay to play Sunset Overdrive again in 4K with 4K textures, but I know that that's not going to happen. But some of these games, they can go back with Scorpio and definitely, push the 4K and even go into them. Like with Gears, I played Gears and it was pretty fun and it looked great. But I'm thinking to myself while I'm playing this, imagine I'm playing this on Scorpio, how much better it's going to look and how much even more of an experience it will be. So, for me, I like the graphics. So, I mean, I guess everyone's different. But that's, like I said, there is definitely a high bar with Xbox, in my opinion.
Well, here's the thing.
They can't do anything like – they always have to be, safe. They have to play it safe. They can't just be a fucking greedy company and take out an optical port.
I think the issue, though, in the backlash for Phantom Dust, bear with me here, is that they had a developer making a next generation version, and they fell out over $2 million. And then releasing the game, original access, even though it's 1080p, whatever, looks like shit. And they're adding DLC and microtransactions to the game. So I think, that was a lot of the big public backlash. And they said they're trying to get new customers or new fans into the game. They should have just did another version. I understand they couldn't get the code; it was lost or whatever.
The source code, man, for what they did with this title.
I get it, but they had someone making a version. It was like, they had someone making a next generation version of the game, and for us to see the trailer and to get that was like, I don't know, I'm not happy. I'm not pleased about it, to be honest with you.
I never looked at it as something big, like I don't particularly care. It's like if people are interested in this, if it's free, I actually seen people go, crap, are you gonna do a video about it having microtransactions? I'm like, what the hell do I care? You know what I mean? Like
me and Delilah are excited about it. If you've never played the game, it's one of these games that is very original. There's really not too many games like it because it has like this crazy card element, like these card games that's out there now. Like I used to be a real huge fan of Yu-Gi-Oh on the PlayStation. Yeah. What I'm saying, and Hearthstone and all these type of games and stuff like that. And then like you also have the fighting elements, you have destructible environments. You know what I'm saying? This game is actually like, I think it's smart for what Microsoft is doing on this level. For games that people are not really concerned about, like crap, say like other people might talk about saying it's trash. Why come out and make this big budget game, and this game is not going to do anything when you can put those resources on another game that people really care about? So bring this game out. If it does really well, I think where the game is going to shine is on PC, because these are the type of games that they really crave.
Well, it could do well in Scorpio because they're saying 4K and stuff like that as well. But
right.
Well, let me say this: like people that just cast aside this stuff, like this and Voodoo Vince, like why not buy it for the $15 or whatever and support there possibly being a sequel? Like you don't buy the games, but then you complain that all they do is Gears, Forza, and Halo, but you're not buying anything. Like, look. Right. Spend the fucking $15 on Voodoo Vince and get a sequel down the line. Like it fucking makes sense.
That's part of the reason why the industry is not as great as it used to be, and why we talk about single player and Phil makes those comments is because everyone, the kids, I guess, a lot of people who don't have the money won't spend the money. I don't know. I mean, people
Voodoo Vince is a fucking. It's like a 10-year-old game.
They just want to like play it, and I guess that's their right. But it definitely starts to take a toll. Like you see,
for $15 with Voodoo Vince, you get an absolutely great platformer that has humor. The puzzles are actually challenging.
Man.
Did I mention $15? And then you can support getting a sequel.
It takes like 10 hours. It's like it's got so much content in it for a fucking original Xbox game that it's unbelievable. And the art style really holds up well. They did a good job with it. Like for me,
I don't know. Do you think the generations are different? Like when you were a kid, did you spend more money? I always bought games.
You got to realize
you didn't have a choice but to buy games for the full $50 or $60 though. That was the thing.
More back in the 90s.
Yeah.
But I think this though. At the end of the day, what we have to take into perspective. We are the hardcore, right?
Mm-hmm.
By them releasing that game in that fashion or whatever, it's not going to appeal to the casuals. And that's what brings in the money and the sales.
Yeah, but the casuals used to spend money, though.
Yeah, why make a fucking game that's going to be worth $10 million to make, though, Z? And then the game doesn't sell. You know, you can sell it for $50.
Okay, here's the thing again. It's not our job to sell their product. It's their job to convince us to buy their product. But releasing the game like Phantom Dust, you got a brand new console coming out, 4K. It's bigger than that. The problem is, and maybe some of the backlash, that Sony or whatever, they had all these games, and a lot of them don't appeal to me. They had Horizon, this, and that, right? And then we had Halo Wars 2, and now we got Little Vince, and now.
We had like City Skylines, which is a fucking fantastic game too. Like I don't want to. It is. It's fucking amazing. Like that game is. Again, it's a game that I think probably appeals to just as many as say a Nioh. It's like it's a genre that's probably niche, but
it's definitely a game
it's huge.
Yeah, it's definitely done well. I know it's done well on Xbox.
Yeah, hey, that game's a lot of fun. Like dealers playing it all the time. I'm playing it all the time.
It's a great game. It's people are going back to it too.
This is the bullshit that I get tired of hearing, though. I get tired of hearing this bullshit about, well, they can do this. It's not our job to do this. It's not. This is the thing that I think nobody else really fucking understands, and that is you can play a fucking whack ass looking game like Shovel Knight or fucking Broforce, and people will love it and praise it to the high moon. That shit looks like trash, and you pay $20 for it, but then yet you want to shit on an old game that's going to be cheaper. That's original.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? And
I understand that.
As an OG gamer, as a root gamer, I'm offended. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the young generation if they don't understand what real gaming is about. For real. That's my word. Like,
that's a great point, man.
They're the reasons why everybody's so fucking fickle and everybody is petty. Like I love my boy All Day. That's a cool
millennials.
I love All Day, but every fucking thing is wrong with everything. Like I'm like, why do we even play games if you don't enjoy them, bro? Why?
Well,
what's the point?
I don't know. I've heard rumors that the millennials they don't want to pay for anything. They want everything given to them. So maybe it's just that type of mentality. I don't know. I remember growing up with gaming, and it was a lot different. People were just really about gaming. Now it doesn't seem like it's more about fucking YouTube or whatever, not really the games, and they're not buying them. That's the sad thing. It's just like, we have an industry here that, was once supporting itself, and now it's kind of not. And we could talk about all day Horizon or Zelda. It was like I said, well, they said Zelda made a lot of money. Sure, it did, but it also was 5 years in development. Mm-hmm. And if it didn't sell what it did, then it would, be defunct. So, I mean, not defunct, but in typical cases, lose a lot of money. But the point is that I just don't see people buying games the way they used to. I think everyone's price conscious, so they'll watch it. Or
I'm working on 500 games. I'm just saying.
I have 400.
I got 300. I got 340. 330 games right now.
You could say that I'm not a gamer. Up and down. I'm on 180 or 160 OG Xbox.
You want me to throw a little something else at people, which surprised me. I own 400 and I think now 58 on Xbox One, and on PS4 I do only have I think 12 PS4, but I have 65 total, and that's probably more than a lot of the fanboys.
Yeah, you probably have more than the fanboys.
Yeah, I probably do.
That's the thing.
Oh,
See,
that's
the
a fact.
thing.
Yeah.
One thing about us, you can complain, you can cry about it. Yeah, game. Listen, I put my money where my mouth is. I got 400 games. I have Xboxes, all over the place.
Oh, people say you keep Xbox afloat because you got so many of them.
Yeah, exactly. I have 160. I have 160 Xbox OG games in the other room that I'm giving away.
I have 500. I have like 600 360 games like on the shelf, man.
I mean, we're people that supported the industry from day one. But it's sad to see that these games like not Dishonored 2. What was the Dishonored 2 comes out. And that game didn't do well at all. That's probably,
I have a feeling Prey isn't going to do
Prey should be a big game.
Yeah.
That's what's scary, and you don't know anymore. Mass Effect, that's going to be an L. That's going to be a loss, that game.
Yeah.
What's the sales on Mass Effect?
We don't know, but it's not good. This is the problem. Like you were saying, K-Mega, people complain so much nowadays. Like that's all they did with that game instead of just realizing that and they complain about stupid shit. Like who cares that they had stupid animations with the faces a little bit? The game was awesome. Like it had a fucking great story. It was it really grabs you in. It had so much content. Like you had the fucking, you can literally spend over 100 hours playing the fucking game, but everybody wants to just bitch and complain about things, and now that probably cost us a sequel down the line. People want to say, they want a game like Sunset Overdrive, but they didn't buy the first one. They want a hack and slash game like Rise, but they didn't buy the first one.
Right.
It's like buy your games. Like I don't understand that.
And what's the saddest thing about this is that, like, look, okay. I'm looking at the comments and people keep talking about, well, K-Mega, he's all about, just Xbox game. No, this goes even further. This goes with all games. The more that you people do not invest into these games, the less that they're going to put into these games. And then what we're going to be doing? We're all going to be playing eventually one day fucking bubblegum rapper extreme. I mean, like, what are we talking about? Like, look, okay, people brag to me about Persona hitting 1.5 million copies out of 150 million consoles. I wouldn't even open my mouth if that was an Xbox game. I wouldn't say shit, and especially if that was like between the 360 and the Xbox One. I wouldn't open my mouth because that's embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? So instead of calling it like a success, it's a niche title. You know what I'm saying? It's a good game. You never hear me say that these games are bad because everybody has a different type of taste, right?
I had people trying to shove that shit down my throat. 1.5 million shit crap gamer. What do you got to say now? I'm like, look at the fucking fact.
That's trash.
550,000 was in Japan last year.
Yeah. And what was sad is that only between 5 and 700,000 of those sales was on the PlayStation 4. The other was on the PlayStation 3. That's it's good that Atlas made their money, but again, you're looking at a situation where you got 60 million consoles out there, and like a game like Nier Automata that's hitting, I guess, close to 2 million. Well, it will hit over 1 million. I don't know if it's at 2 million or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? That's good. Why have you have 60 million and everybody is talking about how good the game is? I bought the game yesterday because it was at $41. I was trying to buy it for the PC, but I heard it doesn't run really well on the PC. So I said, fuck it, I'll just go ahead and buy it. It's got a sale for $41. I've participated into purchasing these games. So you damn right I got the right to say something because I'm help supporting the gaming industry. If you're sitting here in the chat and you only got 10 goddamn games, but yet you rent 50 of them.
GameFly.
You can't say shit to me. You can't. Yeah. You can't say
that's very important to the real gamer. They don't like that. They don't like that. We've been putting quarters in the machine, buying machines a whole life.
I've been spending money all my fucking life.
You want to know what game I bought? Because everybody's like, crap. If you got a PS4, you should try that Gravity Rush Remastered. So it was $15. I picked that up digitally. I haven't played it yet, but I'm gonna play it. You know what I'm saying? Like people can try and talk shit or pigeonhole you all they want, but at the end of the day, they aren't you. And I probably supported the PS3 more than most of the fanboys as well. I have over
I know I
125
do.
PS3 games
I
right
own
now.
a
I bought a lot of
PS3 too.
PS3 games.
So, I mean,
I have even close to maybe 60, 70 games. I was working so much I didn't get to.
Hey, I got me a
Do you
Switch
think
now.
they'll
I'm part of that Switch gang.
You
Woo!
think there'll be gamers like us when they're 41? Honestly, like a lot of these guys in these chats that say XBOX.
No, because
they'll be running from their wife at that point.
Yeah, no, because they complain too much to like what these games offer. Look, the industry is getting to a point to where they're dumbing down games. You used to have a super hard mode in some of these games, and people bitch and complain about them. Like I'll listen to people that look, Dark Souls. I bought Dark Souls on the PC, and I bought it a long time ago, and so I started to play it. I'm like, damn, this shit is hard, but I keep going to the grind and try to beat it. I haven't even beat that first fucking dude in the middle in the very beginning. He's tough, but I keep going back to play. There's people that say, fuck that shit, I'm trading it in for something else, and so then what they do further down the line, they trade these games in, and then people see this, so they dumb down these games. I want full genres of all different types of games. I want the Japanese games. I want the single player. I want the multiplayer. I want all types of experience like we have been getting. And since everybody fucking complains, what the problem is that they're going to dumb down these games, and that's why these studios is closing down, because people ain't participating in buying these games like they're supposed to, man. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad, and that's what Xbox had to go through with the best 2013 lineup compared to the PlayStation 4, because everybody was bitching about resolution and
nobody was talking about games 2014 when when what was they were that Drive Club and what else? Little Big Planet. They pretended Little Big Planet was a big huge AAA.
Yeah, even though it was on PS3 as well, nobody gave them shit. I can remember specifically getting in an argument with some dude who worked for Game Informer online because he was bitching that Forza Horizon 2 was on 360 as well. And then it came out that Little Big Planet 3 was also going to be on PS3, and the guy didn't say shit, and I called him out on it, and then he blocked me and was like, I mean, like, look, this is the shit. The narrative spin is so funny, and I told you guys over a year ago, I was like, even if Microsoft comes out with a more powerful console, it won't matter because the narrative's already changed. And
I disagree with that, though. I do think that when it comes out, people are going to see a difference. If the Pro is comparable,
if they can show something, if they're allowed to show shit,
it's going to come to, it might not, like I said, I've said it's going to take a little time to really show the gap, but there's going to be games that are going to be noticeably better on Xbox Scorpio, and Pro really isn't in the same league. They didn't plan like Microsoft did, and I just feel like the narrative is just gonna kind of just probably switch up, and then people stop being nice to Xbox, and then
Well, did you hear that there's supposedly a new Batman game that's about to be announced, right? Yeah. And so we're all sitting there holding out hope that maybe that'll be an Xbox one, but I've heard that might be partnered with Sony as well.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but I what you're saying, no crap. Even overall, Sony has Red Dead, Destiny, Duty, Star Wars, NBA 2K,
and maybe a new Batman.
And maybe a new Batman, right? And there's all this talk of God of War coming out in September.
Yeah, although the voice actor says 2018.
Okay, well.
Sounds like 2019 then.
Yeah, I mean, no, listen. Every God of War come out in March. Every God of War has come out in March. I could see that being their big March game, and then all the Xbox fans will go, "Oh my God, we need a hack and slash like God of War. They did it again to us. Fuck Xbox. I'm leaving Xbox. I'm leaving. So long, Xbox. I'm gonna fucking post screenshots of God of War, beat that single player game in 6 hours, and then just." No, not have anything to play.
Just come and follow some people that put faces on people and memes, man.
Yeah.
Yo, guys, since me and O-Snaps picked up a PS4 this year, right? And I've been talking about PlayStation exclusives and the delays and stuff like that, but now it's even closer to home. Like, I want to get excited for Sony's E3 as well, figuring I have the hardware in the house. But with that being said, I cannot trust whenever they're going to release a game, just because this generation, they've delayed so many of their exclusives. Like, I could be like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool if they're going to release God of War at that point in time, but I'm not going to be like hyped about it until it's actually out.
You know what their fanboys say? The fanboys on Sony's side say that Sony shouldn't release any exclusives this holiday. They'd be genius.
Oh,
Wow. Come on, man. Don't say that. Don't. Hey, you know what?
Since when?
News for gamers. News for gamers. Actually, it's a big.
Yo, since when
it deserves it. Hey, for anybody that says that and believes that.
Yo, check this out. Since when do real gamers say it's genius for no games to come out that year? Like,
well, that was 2 years ago. Jamie always posts that.
Yeah, that was a writer that said that shit is genius.
Well, no, but the thing that I just said, they should. That's new.
That's new.
Yeah, that's new. That's a new moronic post from the same guy that fucking.
Yeah, I'm a gamer, and it's really good that they're not coming out with exclusive games and shit. Like, that makes no sense whatsoever. Yeah.
The only thing that I can see that would be good to have a delay is God of War coming at its proper time when PlayStation brings their heavy hitters, and that is.
I think James Gunn has the best idea of getting. The best idea of getting released. I don't really see much more. I don't see God of War. I don't see what other games are potential. Spider-Man, I don't see. I just really
they need to delay Gran Turismo because that shit looking
if Days Gone is all they got with GT Sport, which is going to get absolutely.
Well, they do got the Uncharted DLC or standalone or whatever the hell, but I mean,
standalone. I mean,
but, you know what? I will.
It's always something. It's always like Little Planet. You can compare that, whatever.
Yeah. But I'll give Sony some credit on this though. Sony is actually bringing some DLC. That is something that they normally do not do. They're bringing DLC for Horizon Zero Dawn. There is some DLC for Neo. So I'm going to go ahead and cop that DLC because I didn't buy the deluxe because I was not trusting Neo at all. But it's actually a good game. But again, no, I wasn't going to go buy deluxe, and even with Horizon Zero Dawn because that was the thing. That was the thing that made me get the PS4 was because Horizon Zero Dawn and Neo, and so I was like, all right, I'll copy. But I was like, fuck that, I'm not paying no extra money on this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So. But they turn out to be good games, so like I thought. But that's something that Sony is now trying to implement. That's the one thing I think that killed Quantum Break. I think even today, if Remedy came out with some DLC for Quantum Break, I think that would revitalize that game just right off the bat because that was the component that was missing. Not the multiplayer. Quantum Break didn't need a multiplayer. It needed DLC to sustain it.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't. Did it sell you at least 500,000 on Quantum Break? At least.
Yeah, probably did.
Listen, I heard through the grapevine that for certain games, not just Quantum Break, but even a single player game, they got to sell a ton of fucking consoles and. I actually, me and Aaron were talking about it, and he was like, "Well, it met expectations." And I said, "There's no way." I
remember you yelling at him. What's that mean?
I said, "Yeah." I mean, it's because if it met expectations, we would have a sequel. So for me, Quantum Break was an underperforming game. Tomb Raider underperforming. Sunset underperforming. Rise underperforming. The only ones that everyone said was underperforming, but it actually was a beast, was Halo 5, which is no surprise.
Yeah.
Forza Horizon 3.
Which was a surprise. I heard that was a huge surprise to Microsoft. They didn't even market it, and it's got its own bundle the next year. Like that. Yeah. Apparently, they were like so fucking surprised by the success of this game that they didn't even really fucking market it or push it until after.
Lock down playground games. They need to.
They're not gonna lie. They already went multi-plat.
So. Yeah. Well, I did hear Phil turned down that game though.
Or multi-game development. Who knows if they go multi-plat? I do think that it'll be a UWP title. It will definitely be Probably a Microsoft marketed title, but will it be on all consoles?
The only way it makes sense that Phil turns down their open world RPG is if they have their own Fable coming out around that time, or if he turned it down, and they don't
put one out during the holidays. You can put another one out during the spring when we don't have anything.
Well, I think that Sea of Thieves is going to get delayed. That's one of the games. I feel that game is going to get delayed because they want to expand and make a lot bigger than it already is. And it is right now, but it's not really huge right now. But I do feel that game is going to be probably taken off as a beta for a while and really done up 4K assets, 4K textures, and even more so the maps expanded maybe different types of things to do. That's one game I see delayed. So that could be a March game in April, and I think that would be perfect for that because to be that game, I really don't know if it's going to do well.
Too?
What?
What about
State of Decay? I heard it's on track.
That's going to come out this holiday.
That's going to be the. I don't think it being a sleeper. I think that's going to be the game that's going to be the forefront. Even PlayStation people are talking about how much they're looking.
And that's 4 maps too, guys.
Right,
that's size of the game. That's 4 times the size of the game. That's a AAA.
That's gonna be great. And then also, don't forget about Killer Instinct. I think we're going to hear some really good, really big news about Killer Instinct. And I know that we've heard this a million times about the little indie game that's coming out, but that game I think is going to get a lot of huge praise.
I think that game's going to come with co-op, online co-op.
That's going to be huge.
It's going to be a good game. They haven't talked a lot about it, but the interesting thing about Cuphead is that it's hand drawn. So this has never been done before. I talked to Chris Charler on my other show, and he confirmed that everything in that game is hand drawn. So that means every animation you see is hand drawn. You remember those flip books that you used to look at? Now, this is really dating myself, but you used to flip them, and it used to tell you a story.
Cool cartoons, yeah.
That's what this is attempting to do. That's why this is so unique. I see this game doing well as well. I just think they're going to take the time. There's no reason to push anything. You know what I mean? There's no reason to say, for me as an Xbox fan, they've done good up to this point. They delivered a lot of these games that weren't maybe critical successes, but they were games that we did play and enjoy, and we always have games to go back to. And because we have like Halo 5, which is the multiplayer, or Gears 4 with the Horde mode, or whatever it is that we were discussing. So for me, I say delay that game, get it right, and I think we'll see Below this year too.
Yeah, do you know what the problem is with delaying it though, Tim? Is that people already have that bad taste that it's going to get canceled. And
they say mid spring. What they say mid 2000 fucking 18,
I'm cool with that, but people are like
2017. We're a month away.
People are already getting that whole that whole situation where they think that it's going to be the next Fable Legends or whatever. I don't know. Like, if they do delay it into next spring, they need to have a release date at E3 and say next March, whatever.
The
Sea of Thieves.
No, I was talking about Crackdown or the thing, but yeah.
Crackdown's coming out this year. Crackdown and State of Decay.
Cuphead.
Cuphead. Yeah, Cuphead is coming out this year as well. But I'm just saying, as far as Sea of Thieves, because I think you're right. Sea of Thieves might get delayed in the next year.
I think it's getting delayed.
If it does, they need to come out with a firm release date this year, though. Say it's going to come out next March 1st or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you need a firm release date. None of that bullshit with like Fable Legends. Because remember, Fable Legends did a fucking extended beta and they kept delaying it, and then they canceled it. Right? Like, you don't want that shit to happen to this.
Well, here's the thing. Like, all this great shit we've been saying about Microsoft, what do you think Sony's going to do to come out there and steal the show? Then they're going to show Bloodborne 2, Last of Us 2.
Yeah, I already said that.
Stranding, and then they're still going to win E3 because it's Kojima. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? They could have a horrible. They could have a Sony event experience like they did 2 years ago. Last December, 2 Decembers ago, that was the worst conference I've ever seen in my life, and they'll still rate Sony having a better show. So I'm not even caring about
I remember that fucking they did a, what was it, like I forget which year it was, but Sony's show was really bad. And
that's when they presented that dude, with the tight
and they gave it, and they gave it fucking, and like the IGN voters gave it to fucking Nintendo. They said Nintendo had the best show, even though they only did a direct. It's like they would rather say that Nintendo had the best show than admit that Microsoft had the best. And Microsoft, let's be honest, has had the best show the last 3 years.
It wasn't Nintendo just like strictly talking about Zelda at that show. Like
Zelda,
last year's was Zelda's. Yeah, like this year should be better.
Guys. I think it's going to be a little bit of a different dynamic because Xbox is going to own Sunday.
Yeah,
they are going to own Sunday.
They have 24 hours of ownage.
They have a lot of time to just
24. Sony.
And then I think they're doing stuff the next day, just so you know. They are doing, so they're even going to have like even more stuff this following day. So the dynamic has changed. But what were you saying, Crap?
I was going to say that, yeah, Sony, people were worried that Sony might try to pull a fast one on Microsoft, and they didn't. Sony's E3 is going to be Monday the 12th at 9 p.m. Eastern. So the same time they always go, same day they always go. They didn't change anything up, so I think that it's that's important to note.
That's going to be a special Sunday, man.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, Microsoft. Even though I am totally against changes to E3 like that, or like leaving E3, but they're not really leaving E3. They're kicking off E3, and they're getting the full day to themselves, full night. Everyone's going to be talking about it. It's going to be a special day. They got that right. That kind of combats it for then Sony having the Monday night, because when you go on the same day, you know, it's like at the end and it's there the final note. You know, this way Microsoft has its own day. There's nothing can take it away. Everyone's going to be, you know, loving Xbox, and in the climate that they're in, like where you say, well, they can't win E3 because they'll show this. You're probably right, but in a way this negates it because shit, we just had our fucking party. You guys, you know, you're getting yours on right now. And
yeah,
you know,
well, it's going to be a busy couple of days for like BGST and stuff too, because we're going to be doing the Sunday and then obviously Monday covering all that shit as well. So I think that
I already took my days off of work. Yeah, I already told them. So
it's gonna be busy. It's exciting.
Hey, Xbox can tell you this. Like we did like you know, I did Next. I did intro media gaming.
Oh,
I was
my
doing
goodness.
both at one time. Like I would say something on intro media gaming, then I would get off and I would say something on Next, and then so like this is going to be really crazy because you know we haven't discussed what we were going to do with GRG, but you know we might do it, we might not, I don't know, but with you know I don't know what intro media gaming is going to do either. I'm pretty sure we're going to do something. So I got BGST. Intro media gaming, and I got Next, so it's gonna be wild for me.
You also got Easter, the nigga that died on the stick. You always got, don't forget about
that.
There
you go. There you go. And I got Next motherfucking head on a stake because we about to get down on this Mortal Kombat. I'm ready to get to the semi-finals, baby.
Listen here, I will protest if Bam is a part of this goddamn contest.
Def Jam Bam.
No. I agree.
Did you get the basketball game?
Which one? The 2K? Or
no, they just came out with one. 2-on-2.
No, it comes out Tuesday. I just tried to get a review copy. It comes out Tuesday.
It's not out?
Tuesday.
It's free to play, isn't it? Because I've seen it on PlayStation and they were saying it was free. So I don't know.
I don't see. I was trying to find it up there. I can't find it.
I seen it on PlayStation during their little thing when I bought Nier Automata. So I was just like, oh, okay. So it's going to be a free-to-play game. You know what? I just wish EA. Yeah, see. Okay, well, you know that gives me more confidence. See, this is what I feel that EA they're dropping the ball on this for the mere fact that they should get away from bringing NBA Live. 2K has already won. They already won. They already have basketball. And so simulation basketball. So bring back NBA Streets. You know what I'm saying? Bring it back. That people will buy the shit out of that.
I wish.
And then,
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah,
we got a
I
busy
would bring back EA big. If you could bring those people back, like EA Canada back, so you could bring SSX, you could bring, bring all of this. You know what I'm saying? We need a boxing game. I know people like MMA. We need these. We need these type of games back. And EA is over here tripping on their sports. I mean, I'm liking what they did with Madden this year. Last year, Madden was the best Madden in a fucking decade, which was pretty crazy. And but live is just not where it's at, man. NBA 2K has won. They've won. So go back to the drawing board, bring back Streets. Try to maybe work on a baseball game. You know what I'm saying? Because Xbox definitely needs an Xbox game. You know what I'm saying?
You get a lot of people to buy the game just on Xbox.
Yeah. We missed you. We missed it. I used to buy the 2K baseball game, and now,
I told somebody, I was like, listen, you get a baseball game with third party, I promise you that will do good.
Right? You know what's crazy though?
A lot of Xbox fans.
Yeah, Microsoft owns their own. They bought High Heat.
Yeah, but Phil doesn't want to waste. He doesn't want to waste time and money.
It would have to be a third party.
Yeah,
but they could do a deal with a third party and say, "Hey, you could have an exclusive deal with the third party."
Because look, you're just letting Sony get like a couple million sales a year off the show.
It doesn't sell it?
Yeah.
It's not even that it doesn't sell. It brings people to the console. It says, listen, I'm a huge baseball guy. I love, I'm a big sports guy. I got the Pro strictly pretty much for that game. And
you're not the only one. Hey, we did MNC Mornings this morning, and people were telling us in the chat, that they only bought the PS4 to play the show. It's a great game. It is you can't really.
And how do you put a monetary value on that? That's what I try to tell people. Like you can't always just say games or this. There's different games that have a different effect. Like they say when you tell one person negative, it goes 15 other people. The negative it pushes 15 ways.
But here's the thing, though. I don't think baseball does as well. That's why EA doesn't make them anymore.
Even if they break even, they're ahead of the game. That's the point. Because you get people, assholes like me, that just buy the console, assholes like Mooch, because they got to play as Cespedes.
Assholes like me, because I've been fiending for a baseball game, and it's great.
We support the industry.
I've never played baseball a day in my life.
We support games, and you know what? If a game is going to go that way, there's right now there's only one answer to that. And that's buy a PlayStation 4. But if the Xbox had a good baseball game that wasn't utter shit like NBA, whatever the MLB game that they fucking have, that's a total joke, then I would probably not have to buy a PlayStation 4 and fucking put my credit card on the network and deal with all that shit. You know what I mean? Because as Pro is a decent system, but I really don't want to be in two ecosystems. But I need that baseball game. So it's not always sales. It's not always, you can't just always say it's that cut and dry because it's not, especially with a baseball game.
Hey, if somehow Sony does come out with like Spider-Man or God of War this year, that would be like the best year as far as I'm concerned for buying exclusives on PS4 because I bought Horizon Zero Dawn new. I bought baseball. This is the first one this gen I bought because I don't buy them every year. But this was one that I thought was really good, and it was like Pro supported, and I had a Pro, so I was like, I'll go ahead and get that. And then also if they come out with obviously Spider-Man or God of War.
Spider-Man, man, the Spider-Man's got to be that type.
Yeah, those would be both good games. Like, that'd be the most that I bought.
That game is another reason for it. That's a big get for them.
Yes, it is. That's because you have non-gamers like such as my uncle. Will buy Spider-Man just because he's a comic book buff.
I gotta say, man, Spider-Man, like those games have been bad recently. I know this one will probably be good because it's Insomniac.
Oh, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be like
I'm sure it will be. I'm sure
it's gonna be flying around like that. It's gonna be good.
But still, that I was gonna say negative perception.
That's the thing I'm excited about with Spider-Man is there's actually a quality developer behind it, and you got the Spider-Man movie coming out this year. So I'm hopeful that it comes out this year. But then again, I look at Sony's track record again, and I'm not going to get overly hyped until it's actually
not
out.
making it, well, I mean, whatever this. Who is it? Insomniac. Well, you know what? But I don't care about delays. As long as the game works and is well, I'm fine. You know what I mean? It's we have multiplats to. But I want to ask you guys a question before we get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I think this year, 2017, with Destiny 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, what else we got?
Red Dead Redemption was
Red Dead Redemption, whatever. Do you think this year, 2017, has been the greatest year for gaming this generation?
I don't think so.
If all those games release, yes, but I don't see them releasing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, as far as this what year in this generation since 2013? What we have? It's
a good question. This year is pretty good because Sony had really a big start of it.
Yeah,
and then you have a lot of good multiplayer plats coming, but I don't see those. I see delays coming down the pike.
For the AAA multiplats?
There's not going to be a delay with Destiny,
no
Call of Duty, or Battlefront.
Yeah, I do see it on Red. Yeah,
Red Dead could be.
There's no way.
Yeah, but still, those are 3 heavy hitters, and possibly the Batman game also being partnered. Like, I'm wondering what Microsoft will have as far as third party.
That Batman game with and have it 4K. See, that's the thing. If you do get a marketing thing and you have a developer and they say, let's really leverage the Scorpio, we'll port it down, which you're going to get some cases where you get that. You'll get 4K textures, which benefits everyone, benefits the PC things, and your game is going to look fucking phenomenal. So I'm hoping that they can get Batman. It will definitely be native 4K, but I would like it maybe to even hopefully maybe get the marketing deal for things like that, make it UWP.
I know they have the marketing deal for the new Splinter Cell. Like, a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we've been saying that for a while, but
Assassin's Creed, they have
Assassin's Creed Origins or whatever it is. But I think Assassin's Creed Empire sounds better in my opinion. But whatever.
Assassin's Creed Empire.
Yeah, it's the one in Egypt.
It's gonna be the actual first Assassin's Creed that I'm really gonna give a damn about.
I'm actually pumped for Assassin's Creed right now.
Though.
Yeah, it's going to be cool, and there's going to be, quite a few games that are going to come out that are going to be really good. So, again, the Call of Duty looks really good. Battlefront 2 looks really, I'm really looking forward to that. It's an exciting time. I think E3 is going to be great. As far as it's going to be different. No Peter Moore for EA. That's going to be odd.
Well, he must got more money somewhere else.
Microsoft doing the Sunday show before Bethesda. Bethesda supposedly has a couple unannounced things. It's exciting, man. And there's also the thing that's going on before, or it might be after, that Jamie Moran was talking about. It's called Coliseum. It's like with Jeff Keighley or whoever it is. Show with new game announcements and publishers and all that kind of shit, some kind of thing. So
when
could be interesting.
When are they doing that, man?
I don't know. Like Jamie Moran said Monday, so it might be after Microsoft's E3 thing. So I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it's before, or I don't know. So hopefully,
I don't know.
It's all coming up, man.
I can see what Next Gen is saying, man. Like it this year, when it comes to multiplats, it looks promising. I'm not gonna go out and say like, yeah, this is the best year of this generation when it comes to the multiplats and stuff. Because titles can let us down as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm not.
Look at the reason why I say that, because most of the AAA multiplats that we enjoyed this generation, we can play them on previous gen on the PS3 and the 360.
Well, I mean, we're gonna have to get used to that. Like these things are gonna be forward compatible. So even when we
Destiny was on 360, that's huge. Grand Theft Auto is, you can play on the PS3 and 360. That was when. Yeah, that stuff was really being held back by the platform, though. Now with the scalability and stuff that they're using, it's not going to be an issue. I'm saying. What year would you can say that will come close to this as far as game?
I don't know. Well, you know what? I'd say it would be that if we were getting a new Halo or Gears or something, or a Fable, like I would put that up. But as far as I'm concerned, we're not getting really. We're not really getting any of the mainstays from Microsoft this year.
State of Decay 2, that's going to be big.
Well, yeah, I think it's going to be a good year for sure. It's different for sure, but I don't know if it's the best year.
What year would you pick that will compete with this year?
Let me think. You know what? I really like the greatest games lineup in history that year with
2015.
Yeah, you know, like that Rise of the Tomb Raider was hot. Halo 5 was hot. Forza Motorsport 6 was hot.
2015 almost
Why do you
got
gotta ask a question when we're closing the show like that, where we can go on for
Rare
5
replay.
hours?
I'm sorry, but listen.
Jesus.
Crap, that year almost got 10 years for selling that DX12. I don't want to talk about 2015.
well, hold on. Let me just say this before we go. Like, this is the problem with this generation right here.
I love this last question. It's lasting a half hour.
Somebody said,
I gotta go.
okay, somebody said, how can the best game of all time be in the weak? Well, they said in the weakest system. Okay, see, this is the thing that this is the thing that's very problematic right here. You know, you got Trigger Mega right here, because I mean, all you have to do is you can say Xbox One, the original OG Xbox was a more powerful system, but you had games on the PlayStation 2 that was Final Fantasy X, you had Final Fantasy VIII, you had Final, you know what I'm saying? You had plenty of, well, I think Final Fantasy VIII was on the first Xbox. First PlayStation. But you had so many other games that all through history that were better on the weaker system. That's the problem. These people don't have no motherfucking common sense. You need to motherfucking grab a motherfucking book, read, and learn about gaming, because what you just said was the stupidest shit I've ever fucking heard.
Well, Mega, they just said that, but then when the Scorpio comes out, they're gonna start claiming the one thing that they went against. They're gonna start claiming that the best games are on the weaker system when it comes to the Pro.
That's the thing. I mean, like, these people don't have any type of common sense when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, gaming etiquette. They have no gaming history. They just open their mouth and they just spew toxic, foul, gross shit. That's why the gaming media is piss water. It's trash. They need to eradicate all them son of a bitches, in my opinion. That's real talk, man. You know what? I'm done. Send them all to fucking Hades, man. Send them to motherfucking Hades. They're done. They're done.
All right. Well, with that being said, I'm about to, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to play some games, I'm about to pray to Jesus and hop on this Gears of War 4. And yeah, I'm sounding like Mr. Ed Wilbur. We out here. You guys see anything before we go? That's it. We going?
Later, guys.
Go.
We out.
Come up.
Salam alaikum.
Later.
Salam.